Hey guys, Matt with Flying V here with another Flying VDU, and today we're going to talk about spring turkey hunting, hen turkey decoys, their poses, what do they mean, what do they signify, and when and where to use them this season in the turkey woods. If you guys like our Flying VDUs, click the link below right here. We got a playlist full of stuff and we're always adding to it. And if you see us doing something or you want to learn more about, a certain scenario or certain tactic strategy, drop it in the comments below and we'll make it happen. Let's dive in. Turkey season's here, and now's the time when we start digging out all of our stuff and getting our decoys all together and calls, and everybody's kind of just like gathering all of their gear and starting to take a little bit of inventory on just what do we have, what do we need, what do we like, what do we not like. It always seems like at the end of the season, we always have things we liked and things we didn't like, but we don't spend a lot of time debriefing on the season because we're just kind of bummed out that it's over. And so take a few weeks prior, which is what we do, and just kind of lay all the gear out, figure out what you need, talk about what you liked, what you didn't like, what worked, what didn't work, and just start formulating a strategy going into the season. This year, we had a few decoy needs, and I just went online, bought a couple that I knew we needed. We had one guy gave one away to somebody, another one I shipped it out to a guy and never brought it back when we went turkey hunting in Michigan. Whatever the case may be, going through your decoys and remembering when they worked and when they didn't work, and how many birds did you kill over the leading hen, or how many birds did you, pull off of a group, how many hens did you call in with the posturing hen. That type of information can help you, help your buddies, help yourself, maximize your flock, build your flock up to exactly what you need for this season. So we're going to run through these hen decoys, and this is our flock. We carry multiples of a lot of these, and it really depends on the scenario in which you're going to be in or you're finding yourself in to know which decoys to run. But first, I'm just going to go through the poses. These are all DSD decoys. I'm going to go through the poses, talk about what they mean, and then we'll dive into when and why to use them. So starting here with the tried and true. This is the Dave Smith upright hen. This was the very first hen that Dave ever carved. This one has been going since, I believe it was 2009. And this hen has killed a lot of birds, both for us and for lots of other people. I do believe this is still likely the top selling hen. Here's why. The pose is really natural. She sits up a little bit higher than this decoy or a feeding decoy, so it can get up and over that taller grass late in the spring. You think about early in the year, we open up in less than a month. Our grass is only going to be about this tall, if any. As as the rains come and the sun's shining and all those flowers start to grow and that grass starts to grow, it gets high all the way up to here. She is tall enough to get up and over the top of that, so when that gobbler steps into a field or steps into an alleyway in the timber, he can see her. And that is what makes this decoy so valuable. It's from a visual standpoint. And she's a very, very relaxed hen. This is a great decoy. If anybody was looking to buy one hen decoy, this is probably the pose that I would recommend because it's the most versatile. Moving on to, I just said this one is the most versatile. Moving on to my favorite hen decoy, which is the leading hen. This hen, she's walking, right? Right now she's walking to my right, your left. What this decoy does is it gets that tom coming around to display in front of her. So if you want that tom to be over here, because that's your shooting window, you would face her that direction. And what he'll do is he'll either come in from behind or from the side or straight on, but he will always look to display in front of her to slow her down, right? She's on the move, he's looking to stop her and show off. So this decoy is a decoy that I run almost every time. Now there are scenarios when the leading hen doesn't work, but there are a lot of scenarios where this thing is the ticket. This particular decoy was, yeah, this is a 2013 model. She's had a lot of birds killed over her, a lot of birds on top of her. She's been shot a bunch of times. I mean, you can see the pellet wounds and stuff. But this decoy, if I was to pick one and only one, I would pick this one personally. Now, I know I said this one is the one I would recommend. I do believe this is a more versatile decoy depending on when in the season you are hunting. This one just tends to work really, really well for me, and you can see they hold up. This one, I mean, this one's over 10 years old and hunts really hard. She is in great shape, and the new ones will be too. The feeding hen. This is a confidence decoy, right? I never run just a feeding hen. I will always pair it with something with an upright head, because this is, although she's in a really relaxed state, she doesn't have a lot of visibility, right? You get that very classic, I mean, when we're all out scouting, driving down the road, looking at turkeys, you always see all the feeders out in the cornfield and stuff. She has that look to her, and this will shine just like a live turkey will. But it just doesn't have the visibility it needs to be able to just run her by herself, in my opinion. And so I will always pair it with a leading hen or an upright hen. Maybe you run 2 feeders and an upright hen, something like that. And when we get into the Jake decoys, there are obviously combinations for the feeding hen to live inside of a gobbler spread. But running her alone is not usually the ticket. If you can get to a field edge or you're running multiple decoys, she's a really good confidence decoy. And yeah, it kind of just makes it so that everybody feels really relaxed and he can approach in a relaxed state as well. This is the posturing hen. The posturing hen is for a very specific reason, and I've seen this work and I've seen it not work. In the scenario that it's built for, it is meant to attract dominant hens in the area. Not necessarily toms, but dominant hens. She has a very dominant pose. She's a little bit fluffed up in the back. She's just kind of standing her ground and saying, I am the boss bitch around here, not you. And those hens tend to come to her. This is a really good, especially if earlier in the season when you have a gobbler who's locked up on this one hen, and you need to call her in to get him in. This decoy will do that. You get to cutting really hard. You're going back and forth with her. Cut, 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 cut. This is the pose that will finish her and bring her the whole way. And she will attack this decoy. We've seen it happen over and over again. But when this decoy doesn't work is when they're all in a very relaxed state. And sometimes those hens will see this decoy and they don't come running. They actually aren't looking for a fight, right? That'll happen later in the season when birds are starting to get bred and they're starting to hit their nests. This decoy, is probably one that you end up putting away for the season. But early in the year, we have found a lot of success in calling in hens and bringing them to this decoy. So there's 3 real stages in the turkey, breeding cycle. Our season here in Montana is a 45-day season. And let's just, for easy figuring, just chunk it into 15-day increments. So you have April 15th through April 30th. You have May 1st through May 15th, and May 15th to May 31st. Okay? 3 separate stages of the turkey rut, right? What's happening in that early stage is the toms are really excited, but the hens aren't ready to be bred yet. So what they're doing is they are determining the pecking order amongst themselves. So when the jakes and the toms are all in their big winter flock and they start to spread out, there's still a lot of posturing that's happening between the toms and the hens, right? There's certain hens, the dominant hens, they want to get bred first. They also want to have first pick, right? So they want to be able to see which tom is the most dominant tom, be able to pass his genes along to her poults so that they can grow and be big and strong and live 4 years or 5 years, however long they may live in your area. So in that first 15 days, and it really ends up being like 10 days, the first 10 days for us, these toms are all together and the hens are all together. So you might have 15, 20, 25 birds all in one flock. And that dominant hen, what she's looking to do is she's looking to keep that tom's attention all the time, because as soon as she comes into, to breed, whatever it's called, into heat, we'll call it heat. As soon as she comes into heat, she wants to be able to be bred by that dominant tom. What this decoy is doing is this decoy is saying, I am the dominant hen around here. I am going to pull in and take this tom's attention off of you and onto me, because I need to be bred first with that tom. So those hens, they don't like that, right? They don't like that idea. That boss hen, she has already solidified her position within the flock, and now you have this dominant hen that comes in from the outside that says, I don't care what type of pecking order you guys have now, I'm on the top. This is an early season decoy. I still like these decoys in the early season, but from the standpoint of you have to call in a henned up tom, this is a really good decoy because it will pull in that boss hen with really good calling. If you can couple it with really good calling, it works really well. This again, this gal here, she can go anywhere. She can be early season, she can be mid-season, she can be late season. She's just providing a little bit of confidence to the situation, right? You figure that tom's walking into a scenario he knows nothing about. This hen will provide him visually with a sense of relief and allow him to kind of come in. He doesn't have to run in. He can just come in. She's calm, he's calm, right? The reason that this leading hen is my favorite, and the reason that this thing works so well in our country for mountain Merriams, is because those mountain Merriams, they are always on the move regardless. They're never just hanging out. They're always walking. So whenever you see those toms, like they're behind those hens and they're just walking all the time. You see hens, they're grouped up, they're walking. They're always walking. They cover a lot of country. She is covering country, right? That is her pose. She's just walking. And so when you're hunting in tight quarters and you need that tom to get out in front, or you need to pull him to this area, this decoy is a really easy way to just throw her under your shoulder, go for a run, track down a bird, but I know he needs to die right here. I can't kill him here, but I can kill him here, and he's coming. You can set her up facing that way, and he'll come in from behind her and get out front, and now all of a sudden you have a clean, clear shot to down that bird, which is ultimately what we're here for. The upright hen is, again, very versatile. It's an all-around decoy for the most part. I think you can run her and the feeding hen in any scenario, and it's not going to diminish what's happening. Like, these are just nice to haves, and if I was to buy one, like I said, I would probably go with this one right off the bat. It is the most versatile. It can get used in a really wide time during the season, but she's just walking, she's just looking, she's just hanging out is all she's doing. She's very relaxed. I'm going to move over here to our last hen decoy in this lineup, and it is the mating hen or breeding hen. She can be purchased alone. She also comes in a combo set with a Jake that rides on top of her. But what she is signaling is that she is ready to breed now. So by herself, she is assuming the position for the approaching tom. Now, one downfall to her is she sits really low to the ground. So if you're in an alfalfa field, or you're on the edge of some sort of field, or you're in the timber, regardless, she doesn't have a lot of visibility, right? So oftentimes I will couple her with a Jake decoy or one of these upright hens just to get that visibility, and then he comes into the set, and as he approaches, then he finds her and goes right to her. Provides a really stable base for him to get up on top of her, and it just holds him really nice and still, versus when a tom gets on top of this decoy, she's spinning in circles and he is falling over. This gal right here is a really cool decoy. It's really lightweight, really compact. You can take her anywhere, and she will have a a very relaxed but excited tom come right up to her, look at her, and she's already in the position she needs to be in. He'll get right up on her back within 15 seconds of being in the decoy spread. This is a really cool decoy to have. I killed my Osceola over one of these. He came right in, dead silent, came right up behind her, went right to her, looked at her for probably 2 seconds and got up on top of her, and I ended up shooting him. That was first week season. So you're signaling that she's ready to breed. She could be the first one in the flock that's ready to breed, so you can do it early season. She could be the last one in the flock that's ready to breed. You can use her at the end of the season as well. When you look at those 3 stages of the turkey rut, you're looking at early season, pre-breeding, a lot of pecking order, a lot of disputes in and amongst the flock. The 2-year-olds are getting kicked out, the jakes are getting kicked out, and you have this group of birds that is moving together, and you're calling in satellite birds, and this bird's ready to go. Mid-season, all the toms are in full rut at that point, and they are pushing ridges, they are looking for hens, the hens are breeding, they're going to their nests, they're moving around. There's a lot of movement that happens mid-season, and then late season on our end, basically all the hens are already bred, and those toms are still roosting with the hens, and then they're going for a walkabout and ending up in a tree sometimes that they shouldn't be in because they just ran out of time. Late in the season, you can kill some of those really big mature toms. But I do believe, personally, I do believe that a lot of those big toms are just over it. They know all the hens are done. They know they got all their breeding done. And they're just kind of going into a state of relaxation and just trying to survive after a really heavy breeding period. So these are the 5 decoys, hen decoys that we use. And again, we will use these in different combinations by throwing her in here if we have a tom that we messed up on and he saw us, or you know, maybe we're hunting public and we know that this bird's been getting pushed around a little bit. This decoy right here will provide a little bit of confidence. This decoy early in the season, right? Early in the season, you see a really big tom and you're just like, I want to kill that bird, and he's the only bird on the property that I can kill, but he's got a whole bunch of hens with him. Try one of these posturing hens. They do work, and try getting real aggressive with her. Even when she's on the limb, I would get her talking then, pull her in with this decoy, and he'll follow. And then these are just run and gun decoys, man. We use them a lot, especially this one. This little loudmouth Linda right here, she has called in a lot of birds, and we've had some great hunts over her. So that's a wrap on our flock of hens here. If you guys like any of these decoys or want to check them out, learn more, listen to the DSD guys talk about them, head on over to davesmithdecoys.com. They got all the information, all the stuff. They got everything in stock. They're a really good company. We've been working with them and using their decoys for a very, very long time. Some of them more versatile than others, right? So think about your scenario. Again, season's coming up. Think about that scenario and pick the decoy that's going to help you bag that tom this year. If you like this and you want to learn more about some Jake decoys, we're going to do another one of them. So you can go ahead and click the link up here, send you over to the Jake decoys, learn a little bit more about our flock of Jakes that we use. Again, if you have any questions about any of these, we're happy to answer them. Have any scenarios where you like our advice, or maybe we can help you pick the decoy that you need to get based on your area or your style. Happy to do so. If you have anything you want us to talk about, put it in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.